Welcome to today's daily journal. Coming at you for a late time, but showing up. Better late than never. It's been quite an eventful weekend. First full week with this daily journal, and coming from previous weeks where I wasn't as productive, definitely a lot more productive. And I think increasing productivity it goes in tranches and in steps. So one of the things that I've been really implementing is not trying to burn myself out. It's just the first week. I think a lot of people, when they get into their first week of fitness or their hobby, they overcommit. They do more than what they can realistically sustain on a long-term basis. And I definitely don't want to do that. And I'm just building up slowly. But I've made a lot of progress this weekend. And just decisions, productivity doesn't mean you actually have to do things or you have to be busy. Productivity is just leveraged activities. We actually made a few decisions over this weekend that I'm very excited about, and that's going to change how I do things over the next few months and even years. And the last time I felt like this was probably like 3 months into coaching. When I first started coaching 2020, I was using Google Forms, using Typeform, I was using Google Forms. I think that's it. And I was sending emails manually. And then I had to use Typeform, set up all these automations, have all these systems. It was great. And then like 5-6 months later, we redid everything from the ground up. And it's super overwhelming when you have to build things from the ground up, but you're doing it for the long-term investment. So we're kind of going through that right now. So a few things that I'm evaluating is our onboarding process. We're going to be moving over using our white labeled app. We were using Trainerize. We're going to be moving over to Everfit. I got into the call of Kahuna's, the onboarding call, just to ask about the functionalities and what we could do. And there's just too many limitations in terms of what we wanted to achieve. I think the main 3 white labeled providers all have some kind of limitation. And in terms of making a business decision, it's really about weighing up the pros and cons. What we can work around, what we can't work around. I think Everfit provides us the best platform for 1, our downsell, but 2, also our DIY package as well. So our low ticket offer. It has all the functionality that we need. And I think the biggest one is clients being able to set their own macronutrient goals, like own nutrition goals. So we're going to teach them everything in the video modules, and they can actually adjust the macro goals themselves. And if they want habits added, we can create a form for them to request it, and we have those habits added within 24 hours. So that's kind of like my thought process. And it's really good because I've been waiting for this call for a week for us to make that decision on where we want to go in terms of using the platform. And now that I've decided, it's going to determine how I structure our video modules as well, because our video modules is going to be everything from the ground up, from every single step by step. That was huge. So big deal today. We're also changing our payment processor, kind of. So we use Xero at the moment for our bookkeeping, and we also do the invoices through there as well. And so right now, what our process is, we'll jump on a discovery call or a sales call. Once we close, we would actually have to create an invoice. It gets emailed to them. They'll open it through the email, click on it, and then they'll be able to pay for it. And so there's multiple steps. And in terms of running a business, you want to make sure you minimize as many steps as possible. And so now we're going to be doing our invoicing or our payment link directly through Stripe. So they just get a link, copy and paste. They'll just be able to pay right there within like seconds. You can do Apple Pay, Google Pay, which was what our previous process was, but they had to go through the email first. And on the call, it's usually like a bit of dead air for like a minute for them to get the email, open up the email, click through and pay. Now it's just like click a button. I did that when I signed on with Viral Coach, and the payment went through within like 10 seconds, like less than 10 seconds. As soon as they sent me the link, I clicked on it. All my details were already there. I just clicked pay, done. So it was a really streamlined process, and we get to brand it and make it look really nice as well. And it's so much quicker being on the call because we can actually just preset the links, create all the payment links, click copy, and then just done. So we can do like our paid in fulls, our payment plans, 2-pay, 3-pays, our monthlies, just copy and paste different packages. And on the call, just send it to them on Zoom and done. Right now, we have to go open Xero. As I'm talking to them, I've got to type in their name, create the account, type in the email, type in the program name. And sometimes instead of 16 weeks, we might extend it to like 24 weeks. I'd have to like edit that email, edit everything while talking to them, maintain that attention just so it doesn't seem weird. And then we send it. And then sometimes if they sent the wrong email, I have to go through the whole process again. So it's just not that streamlined versus just sending them a link and they'll be just be able to invest on the call. Got a comment here. You grew a lot last year. Glad to see you grow up. Keep it up. Thank you. Appreciate it. Learned a lot over the last few years. By the way, I wonder if you guys know, I logged into Instagram and it gave me a notification, and it's pretty scary. It says, we've detected automated behavior on your account. And it says to prevent it from being restricted. I don't know. It said something along those lines. I don't know. I'm not doing anything that's automated. And yeah, it's weird because right now I can only log into one account at once. So if I'm logged into my computer, it logs me out of my phone. If I log into my phone, it logs me out of my computer. So I hope it's just a glitch. I search on Reddit and I can see a lot of people having it. People with just regular accounts, not even business accounts. And yeah, I don't know. A bit weird. I really hope I don't get my account disabled again. For those of you guys that know, 2022, my account was disabled. I had 2,500 followers and that's it. Like 60-70% of my lead flow was gone. If I were to lose it now, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because I feel like people have followed me for different reasons over the last 10,000 that I've had. And I'm creating new content anyway, which is, I've practically got a new account. I'd probably actually do better if I had a brand new account. Never had that issue. If you're not doing anything sketchy, they don't have to worry about it. Look, I mean, Instagram's always updating some stuff, so I don't know. We use a platform called Go High Level, which is our CRM, and that logs into Instagram as well. So we can actually respond to Instagram messages from Go High Level. I don't know. Like we haven't done anything different. We don't even use ManyChat. I was probably going to start using ManyChat, but yeah, it's actually weird. I normally have messages in my account as well, and I've actually told them to get out of my account over the last few days. So I'm the only one that's in the account, but I'm still getting those messages. So who knows? Yesterday, in terms of productivity, probably like maybe 2 or 3 hours of productive hours. On weekends, I want to ramp up. And it's because this week, Monday to Friday, has been such an intense week. There's a part of me that wants to take the weekend off, but a part of me still wants to move the needle forward. And I want to be able to ramp up. And I think just waking up and putting myself into that position is, some people can. Some people just have this switch and just turn it. But I think for 99% of people, if you do that, you rely a lot on willpower and discipline. And I think with fitness, how I would describe it is there's 5 levels of commitment. And the numbers is arbitrary. But it's like steps on how you can kind of step up. And when I talk about fitness, level 5 could be you track macros to a T, you focus on nutrition and meal timing, you eat from whole food sources, you train 5-6 days a week, you do your cardio, you get your steps in every single day, you track everything to the T. Level 5. Like that's not for 99% of the population. Level 4 is you track your nutrition, you track your calories and protein, and you go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, and you do your best to eat healthy foods. You eat out sometimes. Level 3 is you're just tracking your calories. It doesn't matter where the food sources come from, as long as you hit your calories. You try to go to the gym maybe like 3 to 4 times a week. Level 2 is you're just eating like healthy foods. You're not eating out. You go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. And then level 1 is you're just not eating junk food and you go to the gym when you can. That's for argument's sake, example, right? You start to climb the ladder. And that's what I would recommend for anyone getting into or trying something new is climb the ladder. Give yourself room to be able to move forward tomorrow. And that way you never burn yourself out because you know that you can lock down. Like I can lock down 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday easily, every week, without fail. But can I do 10 hours every Saturday? Probably not. And do I need to do 10 hours every single Saturday? Is that going to move the needle forward? I don't know. So start off small, start to work more out when I know that I can lock it down. Big accomplishment for yesterday was getting my 30 minutes of cardio. I got my steps and my cardio. Cardio during off season is incredibly difficult. And it's difficult because it's psychological. When you're dieting, it's so easy to do cardio because you're motivated by the result. You know that you're gonna be a little bit leaner. You might flush out some water weight, you sweat, but you're getting that positive feedback every single day, that validation that you're doing the right thing, but you're motivated by your result. When you're on your off season, for you to do cardio is just damage control. It's just to help with digestion, active recovery. And so you don't see the benefits. And it's so easy to not do it. And I haven't been doing it for months. And I started doing it this week on Wednesday and yesterday. Yesterday was tough because it was Saturday. We went out to eat. Hank and I went out to eat. And then it was like 4 or 5 p.m. Went home and I was just giving myself excuses on why I shouldn't do it today. But really grateful for Hang because she started, because our garage, since we moved in 2 months ago, it's a bit of a mess. We've got a lot of cardboard from when we moved. But then she was actually sitting there cutting up the boxes, and she did that there to help motivate me to be there. And now, as I was doing the bike, I see that she was working hard, and that motivates me because I see that she's working hard, and I should be reciprocating that same effort. I need to rise, and I think that's one of the benefits of having a great support network around you. And we created this. She wasn't always like that. I wasn't always like this, and it started off with like personal development, working on yourself, and then your partner, the other person, would naturally want to reciprocate. And so I was very grateful to see Hang working really hard. And this what I like about having our office together as well. Because like you guys don't see behind the scenes. It's so easy for me to say, I work hard, I work all these hours, which that statement is true, but you don't see what goes behind the micro, intervals of how many times I lapse concentration. And just seeing her behind, like grinding away, makes me have to step up as well, because I'm like, I can't be sitting here wasting my time. Same thing at the gym. You guys see the big sets, but in between the sets, you don't know how long I spend on my phone. You don't know how much I slack or how slow I might be going from one exercise to another. But when I see and look across the gym, I see Hang working really hard. I remind myself that she was never really into this fitness like this, right? She was introduced into this world, and she's now able to live this life, and this is now part of her identity, and she's able to inspire and motivate other people. And I'm just like, it reminds me that change is possible, and I will disappoint people like her if I don't do what I'm supposed to, because she's holding up her end of the bargain and working really hard. And imagine if I'm not. It will just set the tone and the standard, and she doesn't do it. So in a relationship, when relationships often break down because the other person doesn't do what you want, chances are it's because you're not being the person that you need to be. So again, surrounding yourself with the right people is going to allow you to make better decisions. So I'm self-aware that I'm in a position where people might see my actions and might feel inspired or feel a certain way, but I feel the exact same way about other people. I feel the exact same way about certain clients. I don't know why this is a memorable example. One of my clients, Nelson, he's just uploading video on his story of just doing RDLs, just a simple movement. And when I see that, I'm like, man, this guy's so motivated. He's so driven towards his goals. And months ago, he had been trying to get into it, but he couldn't. But now he's just stepped into this identity, and he's just crushing it. He's super consistent. And like seeing that motivates me. So it's not like the end result that motivates me. It's seeing the hustle and grind. Like seeing someone work hard it drives me forward. And as I was building my lead magnet yesterday, there's incredible amounts of mental resistance. I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this is going to take me so much longer than I initially thought. It's such a big project. I'm not even done doing one slide, and it's just so much work. And as I was going through, I realized that I'm just being a bitch. And all these things that I talk about in terms of mindset, none of this really matters if I just don't do the thing. And there are people out there that just do the thing and they chip at it away slowly. And I realized that the issue for me is that I haven't exercised this particular muscle in a while. This disciplinary, resilient muscle was much stronger 3 to 4 years ago when I first started this business, when I was motivated, when I was seeing a lot of progress. And I was, hanging out during that time, we were going to like different cafes, and I was sitting there, bringing out the laptop. I was smashing out these lead magnets and just building out these great resources. And I feel like over the last few years, naturally, I've just had a bit more of a minimal approach where I'm thinking, what's the minimal thing that I can get away with for the needle to still move forward? Me and another coach, we kind of talk about, do we need to go live every day? Do we need to create content every day? Do we need to do this? And we're just talking about brainstorming different ideas. And I realized that's the wrong mindset to have. instead of thinking, what's the minimum I can get away with, I should be asking myself, what more could I do to be better? It's a very difficult mindset to have, because really what you're saying is you're never good enough. And I think that's a good thing. I watched a video from Alex Hormozi, and he talks about how he structures his day. His Monday to every day is exactly the same. His weekends are exactly the same. And I'm working to get myself back to that point, because I was there last year. And sometimes bad habits or your days, your structure, your life kind of changes, and that structure changed a bit. I want to get back into that, but I also don't want to have to work 16 hours, 7 days a week. I want to be able to have some kind of productivity on the weekend, but not feel as stressed and just work like 4 to 6 hours. But Alex talks about how he structures his day. He spends 6 hours writing his next book, which is his lead magnet. So if you guys don't know, there's $100 million offers, $100 million leads, amazing books, stuff in those books, which cost you $1. I find it to be more valuable than courses that I've paid 25,000 US for, so 40,000 Australian. So if you guys are running a business, I definitely recommend that you read those books. It will change your life. But he's writing his next one, and he spends 6 hours a day writing his lead magnets. He spends 2 hours taking calls. I spend 1 hour plus discovery calls, and then have other stuff in the afternoon. But it's interesting, 6 hours building lead magnets. Do you know how much time I've spent in the whole year last year building lead magnets? 0. I didn't spend any time at all building any lead magnets. I was just creating content whenever I was creating content. I didn't have a really set structure, and that was it. I was just team meetings, creating content. So now that I'm describing, it doesn't sound like I'm doing much. And if your business is not where it needs to be, it's because you're not giving enough stuff away for free. And I thought challenges was the way to go. Like, that's what I'm giving away for free. But it doesn't quite work on a long-term basis. And it might. I just need to commit to it long enough. But I think if I spend for someone to spend 6 hours a day and write a book, and the book's only a couple hundred pages, it's a lot of work to chip away. And when you're sitting there, it's not like you're typing things up for 6 hours. That's what most people don't understand. Like, you might sit there and not type anything for like half an hour, but you're just making decisions. You're thinking about how you want to structure it, how you want to plan it out. And it's incredibly uncomfortable because you feel like you're not moving the needle forward and you don't have the answer. And it's overwhelming, but you just got to sit there and continue to figure it out. So that's the battle I was going through yesterday, but I felt really good because I started to make progress. You have to sit there. And sometimes you might sit there for an hour to get like a couple sentences out, and you're like, now you hit a breakthrough. And that determines how you do the rest of the course. So I'm just sharing what it feels like versus what my expectations versus reality. People think you sit there, yeah, this is going to be a great module. And I think those ones that do it that quickly, they're either extremely gifted and talented and they know their stuff so incredibly well, they've mastered for years and decades, or where 99.99% of the population, creating a resource like this takes a lot of time. And my ultimate intention is to create something that's so incredibly amazing that when you go through the modules or go through the course or the PDF, you just think like, this is incredible. Like, this is the best thing that I've ever read. I actually got, I want to read for you guys some feedback that I got with the modules on school for our coaching clients. And this is for our one-to-one coaching clients. So this gentleman, his name is Jason. He's actually from the States. And he's only just recently done our routine module, which is our daily habit and action builder. It helps you identify toxic habits, eliminate it, and replace it with healthy lifelong habits, and how you can increase productivity and all that stuff. So this is what he said. Routine module. I saw this module first by clicking on my notifications, and I was watching it because he unlocked it. Being part of the community as he's engaging, he starts to unlock it just so we can trickle feed the information so I don't feel overwhelmed. Honestly, I learned better lifelong lessons than any of my college lectures. The information was world-class and the presentation was top tier. Coach Andrew had me engaged and listening the whole time. Best decision joining school, and I can't wait to get back to the start of the modules to start truly learning something I'm passionate about. So that's what my ultimate goal is, to create something that's incredibly valuable. So it's not just about, oh yeah, I've got some modules to tick off the box. I want it to be amazing. And the only way that it can be amazing is if I'm consistently on my journey every day, I'm constantly learning, and I'm thinking about how to create it better. I'm brainstorming ideas every single day. And it's difficult because I've done a batch of these modules, and in my mind, I'm like, I want to go back and do it all over again because I've already thought about how I want to improve it. But I need to continue and finish this first, go back and do it again later. But the free ones are going to be pretty fire. The school community is going to be able to get that as well. The one I'm doing right now is called how to have more time and energy for your kids. I think it's going to be great. A lot of concepts in there. As soon as you hear it, you're like, that sounds so simple. I never thought about it that way. And it gives everyone a logical pathway to actually be able to accomplish that. While someone saying things like, just eat better foods and get better sleep, it just doesn't make that much sense. It does, but people already know that stuff. But I want to be able to set something out logically that people can actually follow and get tangible results within the first day. So just tying into the thought before, seeing other people work hard, that really inspires me because I have never been a hardworking person. I wish I'm a hardworking person. Sometimes I wish I loved fitness more because I see some people like Sam Sulek, the guy just loves it so incredibly much. But you don't just get there. I think it's something that you develop. I think there's a part of a discipline and then passion. They kind of interlink a little bit. And I think I've missed the discipline part. So it never really gets to allow the passion part to flourish. And when I'm just doing this work, it's really humbling for me to realize how far I really am away from my goal. And I can imagine how some people who are older than me, 10 or 15 years older than me, maybe have less mindset stuff or able to talk less, but they just put in the work every day. They just do it for the family. They just work a hard labor-intensive job each and every single day. They don't complain. I'm literally just sitting in front of my keyboard and computer, just typing buttons. What I'm doing is not hard. So I will never say that I'm doing really hard work. I'm doing the best I can, but it reminds me how grateful I am that these are the challenges and struggles I have. And there are people out there that work so much harder. They have greater sense of resilience and willpower and discipline. And that really inspires me. I wish to be able to be like that one day. And it's possible. I just need to go out and do the thing. That's it. We're talking about how there's attributes that you want and people aren't willing to pay the cost of acquiring these attributes. Well, for me to be resilient and hardworking, I just got to sit there and do the thing. I just got to sit there and be uncomfortable and continue to do it because eventually I will get better. I will get better at these daily journals. I'll get better at writing. It's just natural progression from just doing the thing. So that's where I'm at. What I am struggling with is being consistent with my steps. My steps have been absolutely terrible. And it feels like I've got no excuse because I've got a great walk around here. I've got a walking pad here as well. But I haven't been using the walking pad as I was working as much. I feel like the stuff that I'm doing, the really creative stuff, I just need to sit there in peace to figure it out. I feel like there's certain things I can do on the walking pad that doesn't distract me. And there are other things that does distract me. And when I was hitting my steps consistently, I was waking up and the first thing I was doing is 1 hour on the bike. Not bike, 1 hour on the walking pad. So maybe I might get back to doing that. My 1 hour of learning in the morning. So when I'm learning or watching a module, I can get my steps in. And that actually helps me learn a little bit better. When I'm actually writing, doing creative stuff, scripting and planning and doing the content stuff, I can't be on it. It's just a bit hard. So yeah. Well, before I said that 5 minutes ago, I didn't know what I would do. And now that I spoke it out loud, I kind of just solved my problems. So that's something that I think that you guys should do as well. Speak out your problems. That's why, when you talk about things that are bothering you, you sometimes can solve your own problem yourself. So that's it. That's my goal for week number 2. I'm actually really excited for this week. A lot going on. To break down what my intentions are, I have my next call with my coach booked on Thursday, my content coach. And my objective from now to then is to script up another 15. So I've scripted 30 reels, and we chose the top 15 out of those 30. I filmed it a week and a half ago. We're starting to get some feedback back. And now I'm going to go script out another 15. So I have a total of another 30 again, and we choose the best 15 from that, and we go again. So I've booked in my next call before I've even started scripting to set myself that deadline. So I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it's Thursday morning. I have to do 15. So I want to set myself a goal. So this is how I do multiple things at once. If I just sit there doing one thing all day, I'll spend all day on it. I get nothing else done, and the stress starts to build up. Because remember, stress is unmade decisions or things I haven't done. So I want to spend 1 hour to an hour and a half each day to get 5 videos scripted out. If I get it done less than that time, then great, but I'll allocate up to that time. I will spend an hour doing my expert coach module. This week, I'm going to finish off my performance nutrition qualification. It's just the last module. I've just been letting it hang there. So I've got to get that out of the way this week. Every week, I'm also going to spend 1 hour continuing the lead magnet, 1 hour to an hour and a half, and then spend 1 hour to 1 hour and a half continue with the online modules for the school community. And so that will add up around to like 6 or 7-ish hours worth of work, plus going to the gym, plus calls, and that will be a typical work day. So that's how I would break it up. Just get a little bit done. And when you set yourself a limited time each day to do the activity, you become way more productive because you know that's the only opportunity you have. And if you don't spend it wisely, you end up wasting it and you don't get things done. So just thought I'd share that. I've got a comment here. Wondering with the content you post, what's your target audience in terms of age? Really good question. So earlier this year, before I got a coach, I was just trying to create content for my avatar. So my target customer, it's just the people that I want to work with. I want to work with just business owners, right? Because business owners, we speak the same language. They're already, in quotes, motivated. They're already driven in their own domain. It's just in the scope of fitness or personal development that they're not quite well versed yet. Being able to help them, I find, is a little bit more enjoyable. And so I was just creating content towards that. However, it's much harder for that content to, in quotes, go viral or get a lot of reach because it's a very small demographic. A lot of business owners don't spend their time watching social media anyway. What I learned was 70% of my content should be for my target audience, and it could be a younger crowd. Maybe just finished school, they don't have a job, they're at home, they have plenty of time to consume content, and they're very impressionable, and they want to one day get to this point. 70%. And then 30% of my content would be to target customer. So those videos aren't designed to go viral, but to answer questions that a potential client would have. And it's more specific towards them. So that's the distribution towards the content. Right now, we're focused on just the exposure component. And once we get the exposure component, I'll do like response videos to answer certain questions. And you guys will see this on when you watch your reels. You might see like it's like a car detailing or some guy mowing the lawn or something like that. And he shares a story. He's like, oh, I had this customer that said $400 to mow my lawn was so expensive, but this is what I'll explain to them, right? And it's like a response video, and that's for his target audience. So for his target customer who might want to hire him, but they also think he's so expensive, but he's creating that as a response. And then what they do is they create content that's entertaining. It might be just satisfying to watch, and you see like the lawn is like really dirty, and then they clean it and they share a story while they clean it or whatever it is, and you're just watching it. It's just for eye candy while they're sharing a story. So those ones do well. They get a lot of reach, and then they do response ones. So I just need to do the same thing, but for our thing. So in the last week, I've just been doing a lot more research, finding other creators that are creating similar content to what I want to create. So I've found some that create content for a much younger crowd, and they do really well. Like their reels will get hundreds of thousands of views. And so I'm wondering if that's what I should be targeting, but I'm also wondering, like, I want to target a similar avatar to what Brendan Bouchard does. It's like high performance coaching, and when he talks, it's like bigger problems, like adult problems, while some of these creators, more influencers, create content more towards the younger crowd. So it's hard. It's a bit of a, I don't have the answer on what I want to do, but I feel like the best way for me to move forward until I figure that out is just create the content that is valid and create the content that is, relevant to me right now, which is my journey. I've actually already started to get some comments on these lives and reels from other business owners saying that it's relevant for them. And so that's exactly what I want. It's relevant for me, so I'll attract more people like me in the similar position, and I'll also be targeting me 5 years ago. So, yeah. So me 5 years ago is 25. So maybe 20 to 25 people that feel like they have a greater purpose in life, but they don't really know what to do. And they feel like they have more, but don't know how to step into that version of themselves. So I guess it does cover like 20 to 25. But yeah, I think this content, it's got to be something that you trial and error until you find something that really sticks. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Because the reality is, I don't really know myself. Great response. Drop them down. Thanks. But until you figure that out, keep working on what you're doing. You'll eventually have a solution to it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I know like doing these daily journal things, I'm not going to burn out because I actually go through so much of these thinking processes every single day. And I really just need to document that out every day. But yeah, that's it, guys. Everything you do needs to be sustainable, and I think burnout is when you don't feel like there's an end in sight. You feel like you're working so hard, you're putting in all this effort, but you don't know where that's going. And that's why people lose motivation when it comes to going to the gym as well. They're putting in the work, they're showing up to the gym, they're eating quite healthy, but not getting results. Same thing running a business. If you're just doing things mindlessly because you feel like you should, and you're not seeing the results or not getting the dividends or return, then you stop doing it. And I feel like that maybe was why I stopped going on lives like a year ago. I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it for a particular outcome, and I lost that motivation. I felt like I was burning out. I was running out of content. And over the last year, a lot of things I've learned summarizes down to like people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. And so I shouldn't be going around trying to teach people things. Just remind people of things that they might already know. And if there are things in my day that are repetitive, themes, thoughts, I should share that because that's what represents me. That's what I go through in terms of my thinking processes. And that's it. And I'm just looking at things from the perspective of a spectator as well. If I were to watch someone, why would I watch? What am I trying to gain and gather out of that? And sometimes people just want to live vicariously through someone else and just get into their mindset in terms of how they think, for them to realize that they're not alone. They're not weird. We all have weird thoughts and we don't really share that. And I think for me as well, it's a personal exercise to continue to eliminate my ego. I think what made me so dangerous 3 years ago in terms of business was that I had nothing to hide. I was going live every single day, and whatever I was vulnerable, uncertain, or afraid, I would just talk about it. And that made me accountable to solve the problem. And I feel like because I haven't been going on live in the last year, there's a lot of things that I've kept under the rug that I haven't had the opportunity to face. And I feel like I want to say thank you guys for allowing me this opportunity to face my demons, face my limiting beliefs, face my reality, and start making positive changes. So that's it. It's going to be a big week. I'll update you guys tomorrow what the game plan is. Appreciate you guys for chilling. And if you guys are even catching this on replay, I appreciate you guys for being part of this journey. Episode 400-ish is going to be when I compete. So there's a lot of exciting things going to be on this daily journal document this daily journal journey. A lot of exciting things. And I'm glad that you guys are a part of it. That's it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.